Those are some comments from the inauguration speech of President Joe Biden, the 46th President of the United States. And with reaction, I'm joined by Franklin Graham, who is the Executive Director of Samaritan's Purse and also a faith leader in our country and a personal dear friend. Franklin, first of all, looking back at the speech by President Biden, I got the sense that he was offering an olive branch and trying to at least give, by the words that he's saying, some optimism and hope that there will not be the kind of cancel culture. But I hope that those are more than words and that he will rebuke those who have been saying over the past few months, years, and especially the last few days, that if you didn't agree with people on the left, that you should go out of business and basically just disappear. Give us your reaction to the president's speech today.
Well, Governor, thank you. I think the president said the right things, and no question it was very conciliatory. I think he was not only holding out an olive branch, really to both sides, and that needed to be said, and I think he kind of sets the stage. No question I'm concerned about the rhetoric that we have heard from people on the left, that people that supported President Trump need to be deprogrammed. I'm concerned about this impeachment process of the president. That's only going to infuriate more people, his supporters. And I think that's just a bad idea, and that's something that I hope they will abandon. We need to move on, Governor, as a country. And many millions of people are disappointed. There are millions of people who feel the election was stolen in some way or another. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. And we may never know. But we still have to move on as a nation. And we have to, and I think for us as Christians, and maybe, let me just say something to Christians that are watching. What do? Well, we want to be salt, preserving influence in this world that we live in. And we want to be not only salt, but we want to be light. And I think, no question, Governor, the country is going to go through a very spiritually dark period of time. Our country will probably move much closer to socialism. And socialists have never been the friends of the church. They've always persecuted the church. And we've seen this in Eastern Europe, we see it in Cuba, we see this in Venezuela. Wherever the government has a socialist platform, the church always suffers. And so we may have some of that coming. But for us as Christians, we want to be that salt and light in the world in which we live. And I would encourage Christians to take a stand for the moral issues that we face as a nation. Of course, President Biden supports abortion, same-sex marriage. These are moral issues that, of course, I can never support. But there may be other areas in his administration that we can support and back him and help him without compromising our moral stand. But I think he did say the right things today, Governor. He was, I think it was a well-written speech, and I think he delivered it well. And we certainly want to give the man a chance and work with him. President Trump really never got a chance. They started attacking him from day one, but I hope everybody in this country will wish him well and President Biden and give him a chance.
Franklin, I know that many of my friends who voted for Joe Biden and who are strong Democrats are celebrating today, and I would never seriously want to take something away from their celebration. I don't take, a particular joy in somebody else's disappointment. And neither do I take disappointment in someone else's delight. So I think all of us as Christians can say, this is your day. Those of you that supported President Biden, you should enjoy it, celebrate it, and live through it as a great moment. I do think you made a great point I want to touch back on, and that is that if the idea of unity, which was so prominent in the president's speech today, if that's going to be fulfilled, one of the ways he could do that would be to rebuke this idea of trying to impeach a president after he's left office, and for which the Constitution is suspect as to whether there is any capacity to vote a person out of office after he's out of office. If President Biden were to say to the country, and specifically to say to the Senate, drop this impeachment nonsense, let's move forward, not backwards. I'm the president, and the only person who can be impeached is me, and I don't think you want to impeach me. I just got started. I think that would be a terrific healing moment for this country right now.
I agree with you, Governor, no question, if he did something like that. And this impeachment process is such a waste of time and energy. But I don't know, it seems like people at the Capitol don't always listen to reason. It's almost like they have a vendetta. But we need to get beyond that. And so if we're going to have healing, like the president has asked, I think the Democratic majority is going to have to show a little willingness to put things that are behind us, and let's move forward as a nation. I don't fault the Democrats for trying to win the election, and I don't fault the Republicans who are upset at losing the election. I'm not a Democrat and I'm not a Republican. I'm an independent. I left the Republican Party a long time ago. And I just pray that as Christians in this country, that we will stand up and we will pray for this president and try to help him where we can, and try to honor God in all that we do and all that we say. The Capitol, when it was attacked on the 6th, I know that a lot of media are trying to spin this, that Christians were behind it. I've been interviewed where they said there were Christian symbonology out in the crowd, where there were people that held signs that says Jesus saves, and they said that people attacked the Capitol. I've watched many long videos of the attack on the Capitol. I saw American flags, I saw Trump flags, saw one rebel flag, but I didn't see any Jesus save flags or signs inside the Capitol. I saw them out on the mall, and so I know there were Christians, but as Christians, our goal is not to attack or to burn or to destroy. Our goal as Christians is to build up and to strengthen, and we want to build up America. We want to strengthen America, and we need to preserve our democracy the best that we can. And those that attack the Capitol, I say shame on you guys for going down there and attacking the Capitol and risking the lives of people. That was the wrong thing to do. You could go down there and protest. We have a right to protest in this country. And we have a history, Governor, of protesting. It goes all the way back when, and where the colonies in Massachusetts, when they threw the King's Tea in Boston Harbor. We've been protesting a long time. But that Capitol is my Capitol too. And when those people went in and breaking the glass and storming through the halls, that's my Capitol. And I was offended, I was hurt over that, but I don't want to take away people's right to protest, because we have a right to protest, but we need to do it peacefully and respect our law enforcement, how important that is. And we thank God for the men and women that serve this nation in uniform, and we just pray that God will protect them. And we just have a new commander-in-chief today, and he's going to be there for some time. And we just need to let the past go behind us, and now let's go forward as a nation and try to build this country the best we can. And where these socialist policies come in, then we can speak out against these socialist policies if they come about. If these policies are going to be morally hurt our country, then we can speak out. But we don't go burn buildings, and we don't break windows, and we don't kick in doors. But we certainly can speak out, and we have a right to do that.
One of the people that I thought shined throughout the process of the last few days has been now former Vice President Mike Pence, who is a strong believer. He and his wife, Karen, have, I felt, exhibited a very consistent Christian witness throughout the past 4 years. And over the past couple of weeks, even when he was being criticized by the president, he maintained dignity and honor. And through this process today, he went to the ceremonies, went to the church service, and then on to the inauguration. I thought that was very positive and strong, and I'm grateful that he did that. And I feel like we ought to pay tribute to the consistent Christian witness that former Vice President Mike Pence has given us and given the country.
Governor Mike Pence is a fine man, and he's a man of integrity, and I just appreciate him so much. And what happened on the 6th, I talked to him a couple of days after that, and I just told him, I said, Governor, you're a good man. I said, Mr. Vice President, you're a good man. And what happened on the 6th shouldn't have happened. And I think the president put him in a very awkward, in a very tough situation, which he didn't deserve. And I told him that. Of course, the 6th of September was, in my opinion, was a very low point for President Trump and his administration. Many presidents have a low point, and that was a low point for him. But Mike Pence was kind of being offered up as a scapegoat. And he didn't deserve that. He is a good man. He loves this country, stands for this country, and not only is he a strong believer, follower of Jesus Christ, but I think he's probably been one of the best vice presidents this nation has ever had. And as the president left town today, President Trump, he thanked Mike Pence, and I was so glad that he did that. And because he certainly deserves the president's thanks, and he deserves the thanks of all Americans. He's just been an incredible, especially on the pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic. He's led that task force, and he has just done an incredible job. So we owe him a great debt.
Franklin, a lot of Christian believers voted for Donald Trump, but there were a lot of Christian believers who voted for Joe Biden. Some because maybe they agreed with his policies, and some because they didn't like the personality of Donald Trump. Election's over. We've sworn in the new president. What's your message to those Christian believers who are facing deep disappointment that their guy didn't win, or perhaps your message to those who are gloating today because their guy did? Give me that Franklin Graham message to those two audiences who are watching with us today, because they're both out there.
Well, thank you, Governor. First of all, I was disappointed in this election. I appreciate the fact that President Trump has stood for life, religious liberty. I was with him at the United Nations when he challenged the world leaders to recognize religious freedom. No president has done that, Republican or Democrat. And last year I was at the March for Life when he spoke. Never had a president go to the March for Life before. He's just been a great supporter, and so many Christians that are in the White House, and know so many of these Christians, and like Mike Pence or Pompeo, just great people. But he lost the election, and now we have a new president, and so I'm not going to sit back and cry and wring my hands and say, well, my guy didn't win. So listen, this is America, and we need to come together as Americans. And because we're going to have, the president's going to be challenged. We have enemies in the world today that are going to test this president, and they're going to push him and to see what he's going to do. And we need to be praying for him, that God would give him wisdom, that God would guide and direct him. And so for those that are gloating and happy, go ahead and gloat and be happy. You know, get it out of your system. The economy is doing extremely well. President Trump has left Joe Biden an incredible economy, even though it's in the middle of a pandemic. And so now he's got to take responsibility for this economy. And so it's in the ball's in his court. But for all those that supported him, go ahead and celebrate. I think it's great. Your man won, and let's work together so that all Americans benefit. And you know, I appreciate the fact that President Trump, his motto was "Make America Great Again." Well, we still want to make America great again, And doesn't matter who the president is, we all want to work together to see America great and a strong nation that is able to help the poor around the world, that will stand up for freedom around the world and take on the tyrants and the dictators that want to tear this world apart. We want to be a nation that is that shining beacon on a hill that Ronald Reagan talked about. We want to be that. And so to be that, we've all got to work together and support this president where we can. Again, I'm not going to compromise moral positions. Same-sex marriage, I'm not going to compromise on that. Abortion, I'm not going to compromise on that. But there are lots of other issues out there that we probably can work together, and we should work together for the better of all American people.
Franklin Graham, thank you so much for joining us. We love having the opportunity to visit with you, not only in public settings like this, but also privately, just in our friendship. And I thank you so much for joining us on this special TBN inauguration event. Look forward to seeing you again very soon.
Thank you, Governor.
Well,